So what happened? Americans are angry. That's the headline. They're angry for two reasons. High prices. It's an enormous issue. And President Trump has got to understand his legacy is tied in directly with lowering prices for working Americans and retirees. That's it. How simple is that? Secondly, the government shutdown. People don't like chaos. They don't understand why the government shut down. They just know that every day they hear scary stuff. They don't know why. They don't know who's right, who's wrong. You guys do, because you're the PhDs of American consumers by watching what I'm putting out there and listening on the radio. You have a PhD. You're engaged. You're getting information every day. Most of your peers are on Netflix or in some bubble world. They don't know anything, but they do know how they feel. And Americans are angry. Now, the government shutdown worked to the Democratic Party's advantage, even though they caused it. Life is not fair. All right. So, yesterday, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and by far the most charismatic leader in the country and the head of the Republican Party, was not engaged in the vote. Yes, he made a few calls, he made a few endorsements, but he was not involved. That suppressed Republican turnout. Democrats were way more motivated to go to the polls, many of whom hate Donald Trump. And whatever he likes, they're going to vote against it. That's a motivating force. Now, this is the worst. Almost every single pundit said, oh, this is a harbinger, word of the day. They didn't use that word because they don't know what it means. This is a forecast for the midterms in November 26th. No, it's not. And that's what I said on News Nation. I scolded them all. I said, no, because 12 months from now, there are going to be tremendous changes in this country. It's not going to be the same place in 12 months. Why? Because there are so many unresolved situations that are in the courts. The tariffs, immigration raids, National Guard, on and on and on and on. Drug interdiction by blowing the hell out of these people. It's all in litigation. By this time next year, it will be settled. And the economy could go either way. Tariffs might lead to a lot of benefit, or they might not. We don't know. So to say that a minor vote, and that's what this year was, is going to lead to an outcome is just dumb. All right? And I don't care what these people, if I'm insulting them, I'm insulting them. Okay. So don't worry about that. Both parties have to worry about how this is going to evolve. Look, if Mandani is a disaster in New York, and I don't know even if he'll try to do anything, he might just sit there. I don't know. But if he's a disaster, that is going to hurt the Democratic Party and the progressive left big time and lead to the defeat of New York Governor Hochul. That's what that will do. But we don't know how bad this man is going to be. We will know in, 6 months. So there are a lot of things that are undefined. Now, Virginia, let's get specific. Bad Republican candidate. I listened to her once. I said, no way she wins. They could have put up anybody against her. There's no way. that she's going to win. She got waxed. Jersey. Still can't figure out Jersey. I don't know what the people who voted for Miss Sherrill as governor, and she's not a nut. She's a moderate Democrat, military vet. But what do you hope to get out of that vote? Democratic Party is going to raise your taxes, and Jersey's up to here with taxes. You think you're going to get tax relief from the Democrats? You're not. So what did you vote for? The only thing I can figure out is they voted against Trump. That's it. And Jersey is the same as where I am in Nassau County, Long Island. It's the same folks. My mother was raised in Teaneck, New Jersey. And this is really the ultimate irony. My county here went all red. They revolted against Mamdani in New York City. I live just on the outskirts of Queens, okay, just over the city line. And Nassau County, huge, okay, on the Republican side, because they know here, because it's a different demographic, and we'll get into that. They know what a disaster the potential is in New York City. They don't want it. And the guy here, Blakeman, who runs the county, did a good job. Very low crime, didn't raise taxes, so why would you vote against him? American homeowners, the FBI has been warning all of us about a type of real estate fraud called title theft. The target, your equity. With just a forged signature, ownership can be transferred out of your name, and without protection in place, you are facing an emotional and financial nightmare. That's why I partner up with Home Title Lock. You can find out today if you are already a victim and protect yourself. Use promo code BILL at HomeTitleLock.com to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code BILL, or use the link below. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code BILL. Okay. The Jersey thing, I was going to run a soundbite, but most of you people don't live in New Jersey. You don't care what happens in New Jersey, and I understand. But I don't know why the Democrats won so big in New Jersey, and they won big. Okay. Now, Zoran, he was such a better candidate than Cuomo. It was like the LA Dodgers playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sorry, Pittsburgh Pirates. It was just no. Mamdani was a very good campaigner. Smiling guy. Hi, how are you? I'm going to give you everything. Non-threatening. And Cuomo, okay. So that meant a lot. That meant a lot. Just people who are uninformed and the younger people. I'm going to give you the numbers in a moment. But the big thing was that up to 50%, and we don't have the stat. We should have it, but we don't. There are 5 million registered voters in New York City. 5 million. Okay? Most states don't have 5 million people. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of states don't. Half didn't show up. Half of the voters in New York City didn't show up because they don't care who's running the show, right? And there was a big turnout for the mayoral race, more than 2 million. But when half don't show up, anybody can win. And many of those who voted in New York City are born overseas. Now, this is going to sound like a slight. I'm sure the internet smear merchants, gutter snipes will pick it up. Traditional American values are still embraced by most indigenous Americans who were born here and whose family passed down the values of self-reliance, competition, freedom. You're born overseas, you have a totally different value system. You may want our values, but you were raised in a different culture where things happen differently. When you have an enormous amount of foreign voters, as you do in Los Angeles and New York City, you're not going to have the same kind of vote you had 20 years ago. That flooding the zone with immigrants has worked for the Democratic Party. I didn't know whether it would, but it has. It's altered everything. And it's not that these are bad people. They're here legally. They can vote legally. They work much harder, in my experience, than people born here. I'm generalizing, of course. But their culture is different. And that means a lot. So, to sum up, this has got nothing to do with the midterms. But President Trump should see this as a warning. Got to bring those prices down. Can't be hammering working people with high insurance, high utilities, sky-high food. You're going to lose. Even if the Democrats aren't going to do anything about it because it's essentially their fault, Biden was so bad, that's not what Americans do. The incumbent party always takes it between the eyes, which is what's happened on the shutdown. And that's the memo.